6:30, we'll open the meeting. Before we do that, I'll get some of an amended agenda. We will have, in addition, the field trip on the consent agenda. And we will have a executive session at the end of the meeting.
Be for personnel.
For personnel.
I move to accept. Mark?
And what else do we have? That's it. And we got a revised budget. Account balance. Okay. So you wanna
I'll move to accept the
changes?
changes to the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, we'll open it up. Do we have any citizens' comments tonight? Hearing none. And go to the ventilation project update. That's what we just talked about. We'll do where's my notes? Mr. John Penny was here, and we got an upgrade on what we've been doing and what we have to look forward to in installing some other stuff, control valves to save, and to do that we're going to save energy in the upgrade. This is all an ongoing type thing, so we'll work on that. I don't know if anybody else has any comments, but we'll be meeting later to when John gets back with us with some proposals.
Do we know when that might be? Did he give any timeline?
I'll stay on him to try.
We'll turn that over to Renee.
Because I would like to get stuff out on the street, get it.
Yeah, I would like
sooner
to.
later.
He had, the way I took it is he was going to get it back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So hopefully by the next meeting.
By the next meeting, we'll
you'll have your list of what you can kind of shop from.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
And we'll go from there, because that's basically what I'd like to do is at the March meeting, go ahead and decide what we need to do. Okay. Superintendent's report, I guess we don't have any. I don't see anybody here to give it. You want to give one, Renee?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We go on to the action items, treasurer's report.
I'll move it. I'll second it.
Questions? Hearing no questions on the treasurer's report. Shall we accept the treasurer's report?
Aye.
Right. Okay. And somewhere around here, I'm gonna get my budget status report. Anybody have any questions on the budget status report? Hearing none. Shall we accept the budget status report? Yep. Okay. Now we'll do you got the donation for the Robert Frost Museum?
Yeah, I'm gonna read a letter that accompanied this check so I can get all the context. Dear Mr. Johnson, it gives the Friends of Robert Frost great pleasure to make a donation in the amount of $5,000 to Shaftsbury Elementary School in appreciation of his dedication to the children of Shaftsbury and to the memory of Robert Frost in the town where he once lived. We hope you will make the children aware of Frost's connection to the town where they lived as part of their education. In 2002, after becoming a non-for-profit organization and opening Robert Frost House in Shaftsbury as a museum, we operated for 15 years, welcoming visitors from all over the world. Over 50,000 people came to visit this house. As you know, we gifted the Frost Stone House to Bainton College last year. I hope this token of appreciation will be accepted and used for educational purposes for the children of Shaftsbury. We wish no publicity for this gift. Please send a letter of acknowledgement as soon as at your earliest convenience. Yours very truly, Carol Thompson, President. So
That's very nice.
it is very nice. I knew this was. She called me earlier in the school year, saying that they were going to do this. They had to kind of liquidate all of their funds and everything when they sold the museum to the college, and they asked if I would be interested in a donation to the school, and I said absolutely, and they're generous enough to give $5,000. And I did have a conversation with Carol and Mr. Coonrad, he was on the board as well, and they said that they wanted the money not toward construction projects, things like that, but educational purposes for kids for the school, something that would benefit, you know, a majority, if not all, of the kids. So that's what they're thinking with that.
Emphasizing probably the poetry that Robert Frost came out and things like that.
Yep.
Question for Renee, when we get donations, I don't think we get them very often, but I know that other districts occasionally get them and they come to the board. Does the board have the option of creating a separate fund, or does it make sense to do that, or?
When we receive them and there are stipulations associated with them, like they're supposed to be used for a specific purpose,
Yeah.
we will set them aside in a separate fund so we can track it and it doesn't get kind of rolled into your general fund and
Right.
end up in a fund balance. If it was just a general, you know, somebody donated $200 with no specific purpose, you know, we could just, typically it would be spent within the same year that we were currently in. But with that size fund, I would think that would be set aside and tracked separately.
I mean, could you roll in the Tilford fund, like one of the other funds that we have?
I'm sorry?
Could we put in one of the other funds that we have, like the KIP fund?
You wouldn't want to commingle
You wouldn't wanna
because
commingle.
there are
Okay.
Different stipulations.
Regulations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they
Creator and Robert.
specifically
So I have another thing to track.
That's
Well,
right.
it's not necessarily that we have to put it in a different bank account,
Yeah.
but we can track it on our books
Yeah.
Right.
separately. So the money can actually go into, you know, the general fund
So have a
bank
Frost
account, but
fund.
we'll account
Yeah.
for it.
Okay.
That would be like the Tillman
Yeah,
fund.
the Tilford fund, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, put on a message that we.
Yeah, so
Yep.
the board does need to
So
accept.
I make a motion that we accept the donation.
Second. Third. Any discussion? Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I have that copy of that for the minutes?
Yeah, I'll make a copy before you leave.
Okay, consent agenda?
Just include the field trip, right?
Includes what?
Stay include the field trip.
Includes the field trip.
Right.
Yeah, good.
Um,
That's
I-
the field trip is in addition to it. It's what has been posted.
I have an amendment to the minutes of January 10th for the full board meeting that on the second page, line 47, the SVSU student enrollment report was not for January 1st, 2107, but for January 1st, 2018.
Where are you?
January 10th,
Yep.
the regular board meeting, page 2, line 47. The SVSU student enrollment
Okay.
report
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
was not for the year 2107, but for the year 2018.
We're not in the future.
Yeah, right.
Are we there yet?
That's about the same as having you at a meeting and not at a meeting.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any, we'll have a motion to accept the consent agenda
Motion.
Second?
and comments.
I had one question about, there was a charge, we had somebody come in to deal with an alarm that went off in the kitchen.
Yeah, we had a heat sensor go off in the kitchen, I think 3 times. So our alarm guy came in to troubleshoot what that was, and we think it might have been because the heat blower was blowing right on top of it when it
Okay.
came on. Yeah.
Is that activated anywhere outside the building, or
Yep.
does it call?
Yep.
the
Jay
fire
gets a quick message on it.
Yeah.
The alarm goes off in the school.
Uh-huh.
He's able to.
You have to get everybody out.
No, it doesn't set off the fire alarm. It sets off an alarm in our dashboard.
Yeah.
And Jay's able to see what it is real quickly, check it out, and see if it's a real threat.
Okay.
and he's able to contact the fire department, say we're okay, contact the alarm company, say we're okay. Actually, the alarm company calls us when it goes off and says, is everything all right there?
Right.
And we say, yeah, it's a heat sensor that we're working on. So,
Are we putting the field trip in the consent agenda too?
Field trip is in the consent agenda,
Yes,
yes.
that's the 6th grade class to
Montpelier.
House in Montpelier.
Montpelier. Yeah, and when they going up?
March.
Next week,
March 16th.
March 16th.
Yep.
Okay, any other corrections for the consent agenda? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, policies.
Emergency closing. You wanna take them one at a time?
Yep. Okay, or you wanna take them one at a time, or you wanna take them all at once,
Or bring one at a time.
or two together?
There's two separate,
Two separate ones, right. we got two
one,
separate
two
ones.
is to adopt,
We'll take-
two
we'll
are to
take
warn.
them. We'll take two separate ones.
So the emergency,
Emergency closing? Go ahead,
yeah,
Scott.
emergency closings and immunization were, they've already come through us, and then they went back to the group, and now they're being sent back to us for approval. No major changes to either of them, all went through without any changes. When they were first sent to us on the immunization one, there was a few small wording changes that the policy committee loves to do, small wording changes. And then,
Quote you?
yeah.
Yes, put it in
Oh,
there.
yeah, Mike's got it, that's all right.
And then on the other two, or you wanna do those first two?
Let's do those. 'cause I have-
Let's do the first two to start with. Immunization and emergency closing.
Were you moving that, Scott, or you just?
Well,
explaining?
I was just, because I was at the meeting,
Okay.
at the policy meeting,
So
I thought I'd give a little update
I'll
to the
make the
group.
motion for the adaptation of emergency closing immunization.
I'll second.
Have a
To
discussion.
adopt.
Any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
I wanna talk about immunization.
Okay,
So this is for students only. Is there a policy for the staff? Cause I mean, my feeling is we're gonna have students immunized, what's the policy for the staff? Cause if you're talking about safety of kids, the kids who can't for some reason get the immunization due to one, for like a medical reason or religious reason, they're more at risk. If you have a staff member who chooses not to do it as well, they're going to expose those children to a risk factor. And for this immunization, I'm assuming it's for all of them, is that including the flu vaccination? Is it including vaccination or just immunization?
Just immunization.
So there's
let's-
nothing for flu.
right.
So this comes back, doesn't it?
Yeah. And like I said, for me, it's, because you could have a teacher in the school who chooses not to get this, and they're going to pose a risk to a child who might not be able to get it for a medical reason.
I don't know,
And like I said, that's they go to probably,
We're not required to show
that's
immunization.
contract.
Yeah, that would be under contract.
But, I mean, it's something I think you should consider.
Well, if there isn't, Leon's, he knows all and tells all, but
Yeah.
Scott, you're
Yeah.
your policy guy, right? He can just bring those
Yeah.
questions back and,
Yeah,
update you at the next meeting.
yeah.
And Scott, this change was prompted by a change in the state law?
Yep.
Yep. And it's mostly for a safety reason for,
Mhm.
which is great if we can do it.
Yeah, I think
So.
the problem is, I think we can, it has to be corrected through the contract.
For the contract, yeah.
Right,
So,
we won't have any.
I have it here to ask when,
Yeah.
on the next.
like I said, if you're looking for safety of the kids who, for some reason, and I think that's why the state law did it for the medical or religious, is, you know, you're still exposing those kids if the teacher isn't protected.
Safety of the staff too.
Safety of the staff.
I mean, for that
Yeah.
matter.
So, like I said, I know that's a contract issue, but I just wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
Okay. That's all the only one on that one.
All those in favor of passing the emergency closing and immunization?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, covered. Now we'll take the superintendent review and the safety and security of employee.
Yeah, a little update on the superintendent review. The big point of clarification there was that we had to submit what we wanted to have part of that review by the, I think they had it by the end of August or something, at the August meeting.
Yeah.
But not all boards always meet in August. So we changed the wording there for completed by the end of September. It's gonna come back to us for warning, at which point we'll have the opportunity to ask any more questions, and then we will send it back to them.
Yeah, this
Or
is.
it's back
this
here
is
for
the
warning.
Yeah.
And they made those adjustments.
Yeah, and I had brought that up at the last time
Right.
when we adopted it, so thank you for helping bringing that message to them.
Yep. And then the safety and security of employees ended up being a rather a long discussion worthy of a lot of different points of view. Mostly hinging on fragrances in schools and people who have rather severe sensitivities to fragrances, both staff and students, and overall health of those people. So kind of went back and forth on that, and added the word health to line 16, which included fragrance and things that could make people ill, and that is now here ready for warning. So not major changes, just enough to help enforcing rules with regard to fragrances and those making people sick.
Yeah, so healthy was the only thing they added to it.
Added the word health.
Added
Yeah.
the word
Healthy. It's in
Healthy.
Italics.
Okay.
Did they list fragrances? I'm just curious.
They did not list fragrances. No, but it's perfumes and strong cleaning chemicals, and in some cases flowers even, that make people have rather severe allergic reactions.
Okay.
Okay.
And move to warn
Warn.
policy 4400, safety and security of employees, and 2600, superintendent of schools evaluation and review.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, passed. Facilities.
No action items, for facilities or
No
personnel.
Facilities, other than the fact that we talked about earlier, the ventilation. Personnel,
No action
no
items.
action on personnel. How about principal? Should we have some action on principal?
I don't know, should we?
No.
Principal's report, I have just a few items to talk about. We had another successful father-daughter dance last Friday night, well attended by approximately 75 father-daughter couples. I'd like to thank the Shaftsbury PTO for putting on the event, especially our teacher, Emily Elflet. She did most of the facilitating, organizing, putting up the decorations in the gym. It looked really nice that night. I know Scott was there, I know Jeff was there. Girls had a great time. The girls really look forward to that night. They come in pretty excited coming in with their dads. So it was a lot of fun. I want to give the board a heads up that either next month or in April, I'm going to invite the PTO and Chris Rowe for our technology technician, as well as Deb Daly, our librarian, and I'm going to, hopefully we can invite you to visit our makerspace that we're creating in the computer lab. It's we've done a lot of work there, a lot of help with the PTO, with some money donated from the PTO. The makerspace, if you're not familiar with it, it's a place where kids can collaborate, innovate, create, use technology, but not necessarily it's all about technology. It's also about building things and just doing different projects in the outside of the classroom. A lot of hands-on stuff, and it's a big movement around the educational world. We're pretty excited by what we got going on next door, and we're really hoping we can do a little tour there the next month or the month after, so you guys can see what's going on there. And lastly, not next, but March 1st, we're gonna have our annual literacy night. This is something we've done now for I think our 3rd year. The theme this year is going to be STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. We have a number of community members that work in the STEM field. They're going to read stories to children throughout the school. We also have a bunch of opportunities around other activities going on around the school that night. It's from 6 to 7 p.m. A local illustrator, Lenny Kenyon, will be here selling and signing books that he's illustrated and published the last couple years. So it's usually a fun night. So if anybody can join us, it'd be great. It's again, it's March 1st from 6 to 7 p.m. And that's all I have. Ed?
Okay. Let's see, the only thing I have is I want to thank Jeff and the staff here for having a good year so far this year and running along very smoothly. And I want to thank Fran for his service on Shaftsbury board for all the years that he's been on it.
How many years, man?
Yeah.
How many?
Well, 88, it's 2018 now, so.
I thought he meant 88 years there for me.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he still has one more meeting with us.
That's it.
You got one more meeting?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't get a vote, but it's the budget meeting at the town hall.
The floor
Oh, yeah,
meeting.
floor meeting,
Yep.
floor meeting, yep.
Can't get rid of him yet.
Okay,
Ed, can I ask one thing under other?
yep,
Back when we set aside the monies to be used out of the Tilner Fund, I think the minutes reflected that we were gonna use the remaining funds.
yep.
The minutes didn't reflect that the board would allow us to actually close the account. So just a point of clarification. So the account's still open with like no money in it, so
So we close
if
it
it's
next
okay,
month,
can
next
we
meeting.
close it?
We can close it now if you want.
The treasurer's report does show money still
Like-
in that account.
I don't think we haven't spent it yet.
We haven't spent it
but
yet,
once
but
we-
an earmark for
spent it
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We said, but we
shouldn't close it until after.
designated it for
February.
something.
Yes,
Oh,
for
yes.
the symphony that's coming. Yep.
Yeah,
They're not
so-
coming till April. We'll get the invoice, but
Yeah, we should close it after the symphony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't close it before.
Yes. There's no money in there.
But once we spend it, yeah.
please. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Just
Executive
FYI.
session.
And then
FYI,
executive session.
two enrollments on the back. Next Shaftsbury meeting is March 14th. But we'll have our town meeting, meeting before that,
When's that?
The 5th.
March 5th.
March 5th.
March 5th. And
Executive session.
what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, I wanna go into executive session.
I'll move to go into executive session.
Okay,
And we're going for personnel, correct?
Yes.
for personnel.
Yep.
Is there gonna have to be an action on it?
No.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and to go into executive session in a second.
Jeff, let me know when they get out.